Hey y'all, whether it's morning, evening, or afternoon, I'm just glad that you guys had decided to vibe with E. Yes, the one and only E. Hey y'all, I hope y'all guys are feeling amazing, doing amazing things, and if not, I hope by today or the days to come within this week that you guys will feel amazing, because as always, them bad times don't last forever. It's just to help you for the days that are to come. If you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. And for the ones that are not new to this but true to this, hey y'all, what's up? What's poppin'? I hope you all are hopefully, like I said, feeling amazing. If not, I hope you get better soon. I hope you're having an amazing day. And if not, I hope it gets better. And I hope amazing things come your way, even if they are already here. So without further ado, today is Wellness Day. So that means today's vibe of the day sort of kind of is Wellness Day, but we're not going to call it the vibe of the day. We're going to say today is Wellness Day 101, and this lesson is lesson 4, and today's lesson is all about PTSD. By June being dedicated to men's mental health, PTSD, and every other things that's evolving within the month of June, I really want to pinpoint PTSD within the Wellness Day because that impacts with your mental and people's mentals as well. Also, if you don't know, PTSD it's more than just one thing. A lot of people say, like, when it come off their head, what it impacts with multiple aspects when it comes to mental health. And if you're new here, Wellness 101 lessons are impacted with mental health. So every last Wednesday out of the month, I do Wellness 101. The lesson of the day for Wellness Day is PTSD, because every Wellness Day impacts with something within the mental. And it also helps you with things to take advantage of when it comes to your well-being, or help you with others' well-being as well. So let's get into it. What is PTSD? PTSD is post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. It is a mental health condition that develops after experiencing or witnessing a traumatic event such as combat, natural disasters, serious accidents, or personal assault. Symptoms include flashbacks, several anxieties, nightmares, and uncontrollable thoughts about the event, which can significantly impact an individual's daily life and overall well-being. Effective treatments often involve therapy, meditation, and support to help manage symptoms and impacting qualities of life. So overall, PTSD is post-traumatic stress disorder, is a disorder that is impacted with your mental health because it's impacted with your brain. Like I say all the time, and if you're new here, the brain is a terrible thing to waste, and the brain is so strong because it carries a lot of memories. And I want to use an example that may help y'all understand more, and it may not. If you guys don't know the Disney cartoon movie Inside Out, and the reason why I'm using Inside Out to compare, to shed a little bit of brightness on this topic, is because the character Riley, she is a preteen, and she has a lot of elements going on in her brain. She got joy, disgust, fear, sadness, anger, anxiety, and everything like that. They all are controlling her brain. So if anything is to happen, such as if she feels sad and she, feels depressed and things like that, those memories can also trigger her as well. I'm not going to spoil the new one, but the first one had helped her develop after every experience she had dealt with in her life up until now. So little things like that, y'all, like just watching cartoons, and mainly the little kids cartoons, because they also shed a light onto mental health a lot that a lot of people don't realize. And when I went to go see Inside Out 2, the new one, yesterday with my sister and my mom, I was like, wow, they paid attention a lot to her mental health, because anxiety plays a big role also when it comes to PTSD, as well as trauma events, and having those flashbacks of things that can haunt you. Like little things can put a big impact on you. And when I mentioned that a lot of people, think of PTSD, they think of maybe like song lyrics. Like the first time I had heard about PTSD, I believe I was in middle school, and I always thought of the Army. And that's one of the key things that happen to a person that they're in the Army. PTSD does occur because, combat and things like that are happening, as well as, just going through a lot of things as well. That's also a big part of it too. But also a person that has dealt with all different types of experiences or witnessed, very harsh experience can be a victim of PTSD. As well as when I got older, before Juice WRLD had died, he had wrote a song saying that he has PTSD. And you just got to pay attention to a lot of people and films and things that are like being in the media that, okay, it may display one thing, but if you're a deep thinker like I am, it can also display other things, like I mentioned about Inside Out. The character Riley has so many, elements of, being happy and all that stuff like that, but it also took a deeper dive into like how she operates and how does most of her emotions impact her daily life and things like that. So I know you're probably like, oh my gosh, that's a little deep. That's like creative, I never thought that way. And sometimes it's okay, we're learning as we go. So that's PTSD, it's involves in mental health, and is a condition that is a condition that is developed after experiences or witnessing trauma events, things and flashbacks, having anxiety, nightmares, thoughts about events, and so on and so on. Here's where it gets to that I just mentioned. Like a lot of people, when they think of PTSD, they think of people that's in the service. So who is most at risk of developing PTSD, and how can they be identified early to provide them timely support? Individuals who have experienced or witnessed traumatic events such as military compound, physical or sexual assault, accidents, or natural disasters are at high risk of developing PTSD. Early identifications can be helpful by realizing symptoms such as overwhelming memories, avoiding of triggers, negative changes in mood or thoughts, and hiding anxiety. Screening tools and missions by healthcare professionals, particularly in high-risk populations like veterans, survivors of violence, or emergency responders, can help identify PTSD early and enabling timely interventions and support to minimize its support. So like I mentioned, mainly people who are in the service, they deal with it a lot because of compound and any type of issues that they had to go through, because they're fighting for their country and fighting for our country and stuff like that. That's a lot that can easily put PTSD on a person, because you're seeing a lot of stuff every day that you hear about, but it's like once you live through it and see it with your own two eyes, it's like, whoa, this is serious. So that's one. Such and others are like victims that has dealt with physical or sexual abuse. Now, children can also go to PTSD, but I don't think that they would identify that for children as PTSD. I think they identify it as something else. But physical assault is, getting hit, slapped, whatever, and people can see your marks. Sexual abuse is also another thing, getting touched in places you don't want to and things like that. That falls with PTSD because, for instance, I took a class called Domestic or Family Violence. And a lot of times when you take classes like that, they tell you, they try to tell you to be strong, but at times you have to let go because you're human. And it's really crazy. It's been times where in that class, I'll never forget, like, I broke down because just hearing the stories. And the first chapter that they introduce you to when it comes to that class is partner violence, partner intercourse violence. And that's what's mainly can trigger a person too within PTSD, because like, say if they were getting abused sexually or physically and sexually abused, or one or the other by their partner, most of the time, it's both of the times, if they try to move on to somebody, try to get their help, Just the little things that you can do, like a person can do, can trigger the victim, such as like, oh, if you try to touch their hand, they jump back because you don't know what type of flashbacks or feelings they have when people touch them. So that's a good reason, that's a good example on how people who are at risk of developing PTSD, and as a person that's going to school for social work and have learned and seen and videos and things like that impacted with these topics, it's hard to like not break down because you're the person that's willing to help them. And at times you don't want to break down all the time, but at times it's like, wow, because this can really affect the person's lifestyle from long term and everything like that. So anybody that has survived PTSD, shout out to you, because that is one of the most very hard and crucial things that involves with your mental health. Going through post-traumatic stress disorder is not easy. Dealing with stress, anxiety, depression is very hard. That's why I have this thing. That's why I've created wellness one-on-one lessons other day, because you got to reflect on things. And I feel as though that when it comes to like the last few days of the month, it takes time for you to reflect on the month, as well as reflect on what you want for next month to become and what you don't want next month to end up like within this month, if that makes sense. Because like I mentioned, wellness, I'm gonna say this, how I got the idea. I got the idea of wellness one-on-one lessons because at my university, they have a day where they're dedicated to the students called Wellness Day. And it helps us focus on our mental. And when I seen that my university did that, that honestly put an impact on me, because being a college student, full-time, part-time, whatever, student, it's hard. Because a lot of people that are students, full-time, part-time, they probably parents. They probably work in the service. You know, they probably parents, you know, living alone or working full-time jobs, working 3, 4, 5-time jobs, you don't know. And by my university having once every month, one day out of the month dedicated to us impacting our well-being, our mental health, that honestly put a light on me, and it put a real big impact on me within my podcast, because you know, it's based on self-improvement within an educational term, with self-improvement and mental health, period, within the wellness days, to also help us, to help y'all, which is us, learn as we go. And from that moment, every time a wellness day come, we don't do nothing. Like school-wise, academic-wise, nothing. The professors don't give out nothing. If it's something need to be done, they put it on hold until the next time they have class. And when I was able to experience that, I was like, wow. Because being a college student is hard. It's hard. And people don't understand. They think, oh, you go to school, you be all right, you know what you're doing. No, it's hard. Imagine you having to, like I said, you be a full-time student. You probably a full-time parent, full-time worker, full-time everything in the book, or part-time working 2, 3, 4 jobs and handling business, trying to get this, trying to settle this, trying to, get into a house, trying to get a car and stuff like that. It's hard. And by school being one of your number one priorities, as well as making money, it's hard, because at times, sometimes it's like, okay, I know some of my classmates, they be like, wellness day is not enough. One day, okay, but sometimes I probably need 2, 3 more days to have my own personal well-being day from school, because it's a lot on me. And it does create stress. It does create anxiety. It does create depression that people think is a joke. As well as being a college student, it's not easy. Being a person is not easy at all. If it was easy, we all be, walking around, walking on sunshine every day. But it's not. That's why we're able to have those bad days. And those bad days are able to help us So we know how to handle ourselves as well as know how to prepare ourselves for the good days to come. That's why I always say, bad times don't last forever. You know how Glorilla say, every day the sun won't shine, but that's why she love tomorrow. Because that little bit of time you're going through right now in your life, if you are going through something right now in your life, I'm telling you, ma'am, sir, it's not gonna last that. It's not gonna last. It's not going to last. It's not going to last. And when I say that, because it's not going to last up to 3 months, maybe a couple weeks, but I guarantee you, the minimum is 3 months and the max is 9. Because I know at times it's hard, it's a struggle and things like that. But if it's something so major, so minor, like brother said, every day the sun won't shine, but that's why you love tomorrow. It's always tomorrow. It's always a different experience the next day. You might not feel the same way as you did as you felt yesterday, but today you may feel different, as well as tomorrow. And that's why with PTSD impacting with mental health, sometimes it's hard for people to get to that point, like, have that motto in their head, like, okay, every day the sun won't shine, but that's always tomorrow. Or bad times don't last forever, because it's always a rainbow at the end. So it takes time, but I want y'all to notice, if you're going through something so small, I want you to pray on it. Pray for the best of it. And think of ways to help yourself, because this is not going to last forever. Bad times don't last forever. And whoever you believe in is not going to put you in a situation that they know it's not for you. Okay? And as a person that believes in God, I always say that He's not putting me in this position because it's a punishment. No, He's preparing me for the world to come. As well as with my parents, with certain stuff that they do, we feel like, oh, they be so hard on us. No, they're preparing us for what's to come. Especially when you become adults. As well as when it comes to your mental health, what you can take and what you can't take, what you can diss and what you cannot diss, if that makes sense. So the people that are, impacted with PTSD, I'm right here with you within moral support, because you're going to be able to get the support that you need, because you need it the most, especially when it comes to your mental health. No matter how long it takes, it can take you years, it can take you days, weeks, months, years to get yourself together. Take as long as you can. Take that time that you need to learn from this experience, and also find your new normal. And when I say new normal, when things happen in life, you be like, well, I want to go back to normal. There's no such thing as going back. You got to find your new norm. And I learned that from my professor / chair advisor who taught the class on domestic or family violence. And when she said that, I was like, that's true. Because when things go on in our life, we like, I want to go back to normal. It don't go back to normal. You got to find your new normal. You got to find new things to help you in life. You got to find new things that's impacted with your daily life and things like that. Even though at times, like such as when you transfer to a new job or a new school, new place or whatever, that's a part of your new norm. Things are changing. When you leave this person, when you have a family and stuff, that's your new norm. Okay? So it's also a new norm to your mental health, because it impacts the brain, and the brain does not forget anything. Especially, I don't know if y'all don't remember, what was her name? not GB Jones, Judy B. Jones. And she be like, the B stands for this and the B stands for that. I'll never forget, every time she'll start a story off, she'll be like, I have a photographic memory. Click, click, click. So if you're like that also too, you have a photographic memory, you close your eyes and you see a visual and, or stare out in space, whatever, your mind is racing every day. And that's also impacted with the brain. I say this all the time. The brain is a terrible thing to waste, and the brain is a terrible thing to put so much stress on, because once you put it on there, your whole mental health is just like, it's like, dang, what I'm doing. But it takes time, slow and steady to get yourself together. Take all the time you need, but don't rush it. One thing too, especially involved with PTSD and mental health orders, everything, don't rush for things to get better, because it takes time. And you being the player on this field, you're the coach of what's to happen. Okay? So take all the time you need when it comes to getting the help you deserve. So what are the primary symptoms of PTSD that can significantly impact an individual overall wellness and daily function? So the primary symptoms of PTSD includes intrusive thoughts or memories of traumatic events, flashbacks, nightmares, intensive emotional distress when reminding of the trauma, avoiding behaviors such as avoiding places or activities associated with the trauma, and negative change in the mood or thought, such as enduring negative beliefs about one's or the world, are also common. These symptoms can significantly impact the individual overall wellness and daily function, affecting their relationships, work or school performance, and overall qualities of life. Now, like I mentioned when I said, like, when it comes to being a student, a worker, a parent, being social, whatever the case may be, business owner or whatever, PTSD can honestly put a lot of, how can I put it? Can put a lot on you, like I mentioned. In order for you, I'm going to say it like this, for you to, it's just so hard, y'all. Every time I talk about wellness one-on-one lessons, it's hard because I'm learning with y'all as I'm preparing for these episodes, doing research and things like that, and putting my own inputs and stuff to it. I'm learning as I go. This is all off the top of the dome. Some of this is freestyle, but I'm gonna tell you like this. I did my research. Thoughts are freestyle, off the dome, stuff like that. It's raw and uncut. I don't cut no corners. I'm telling y'all nothing but the truth. When it comes to dealing with symptoms of PTSD for a person, and it impacts their daily lives, it can also affect the others around them, such as, like, like I mentioned, if a woman is around at work and her boss, her boss acknowledged her for doing good and being the star co-worker, and they shake their hand or touch their hand and they jump, that can trigger them, because if growing up or being in a relationship with somebody or being with family members or friends or whoever, like, physically, mentally, sexually harassed them, or assaulted them in a way, can trigger them, but the people on the outside wouldn't know because the victim haven't said anything. And being the victim in these cases is very hard enough because you're going through it, and at times it's even more harder when you tell people that you're close with. They may or may not believe you. And I feel as though any type of violence that goes on, if a person displays the behavior such as the body language is a very, 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 very big thing that I pick up on, because I can sense when a person's not comfortable. You can sense when a person is comfortable and not comfortable. And I can sense that from a mile away, especially when it comes to children. When a child is not comfortable, their body language may tell it all, but their face and actions are going to say it more too. Like, that they're crying or, kicking, pulling, screaming and stuff. If you can sense that within your child or children that you be around, that's a red flag right there. And that is a symptom of light bulb should be going off, like, oh, something not right here. Because if the child doesn't feel comfortable with somebody, automatically, even if you are the parent or guardian or, other family member, whatever it be, a child can't really speak up for themselves. But them actions going to speak louder than their words. If you can see that, the child is just not having it, get your child or get that child ASAP. Because that's how things start. That's how physical, sexual, emotional, all that abuse start. And if you know the child real well, and you sense that, when they with you, they feel comfortable, they feel sane, they can tell that you're a good person. Because that's another thing they say. Children and pets can sense good people. And that's true. I have a dog named Roscoe. I love Roscoe. Roscoe can sense when somebody's not right, within the neighborhood. And they can sense and he can sense when somebody is right. As well as with children, like I mentioned, scream, kicking, hollering. That's the sign, red flag number 1 right there. Light bulb should go off. That can affect a child as well as all the way up to their adulthood. Or if it happens during their adulthood, they can be able to stand up for themselves. However, it is at times when victims take a while to express themselves, and that's okay. I feel as though that if it takes someone a couple years, a couple days, couple weeks, couple months, a couple years to be able to tell their story, okay. Because that's another thing too. A lot of people judge people instead of listening to them. Especially if we have not been in their shoes, we cannot judge. Or don't know anything about the symptoms that they're going through, we cannot judge them. So, like I mentioned, when it comes to physical and sexual abuse, assault, abuse, all that, we cannot judge somebody because they didn't say it right away. At times, people are feared, they're in fear. And some of them are threatened. Their lives are threatened if they tell. And that's how PTSD happens. And that's why I feel as though if there are victims out there that are going through these things, or victims, let them have that moment to get their self together, to be able to adapt, to talk with somebody, and prepare themselves to want to get the help they deserve. Yes, it takes time. It's going to take you a good time. But don't wait too long to the point where that in environments that are involved with a lot of people, such as school, work, and business relationships or whatever, take control of your life. Because those type of, in your daily functions, you don't want people to start wondering. Because that's when it gets a little crazy. And that's when people get a little nosy. But I'm here to say this. Take all the time you need, but don't wait too long. Because it's going to drive you insane. But I also say this too. Please keep good people around you. Yes, good people is hard to find because, it's people that's here for a season and who's here for a reason. The ones that have been here for reasons, keep them close by. Cherish them. Give them their flowers. As well as the people that's there for that person for a reason. Cherish them, comfort them in many ways as they need it to be. Even though they say don't need it, be there for them because they do. Do it. Because dealing with PTSD, stress, anxiety, depression, all those types of things, it's no joke. It's no joke. And everybody, I don't care what race you are, whatever, you need support. If you're going through it, get the support, get the help you deserve. But like I mentioned, if you have to take, if it takes you days, weeks, months, years to get yourself together, do so. But don't wait too long until it's too late to get the help you deserve. So this is where it gets to the nitty gritty of when should you, individuals such as that are going through or know somebody that is going through PTSD, should seek professional help for preventing a long-term negative effect on their mental health, physical health. That's what when I had mentioned, take the time you need, but don't take too long because it's going to turn into a long-term negative effect, and you don't want your mental and physical health to be impacted by that, because once you take so long, once the individual takes so long on getting the physical and mental health that they mental health that they need to seek, it's going to either affect them 9 times out of 10 in a bad way. So individuals should seek professional help for PTSD if they are experiencing ongoing and several symptoms such as flashbacks, nightmares, intensive anxiety, or emotional numbness that has affected with their daily functions for more than a month. Early interventions is crucial to prevent long-term negative effects on the mental and physical health, including depression, substance abuse, and medical conditions. So with that being said, you should get it within, even though I said a year, in this case, it should take, I feel like what I mentioned at first, you should take your time, but it shouldn't be over 3 years. In this case, for me, I would say 3 years, but research shows that it shouldn't be over 3 months. Even though it takes, like I said, it takes time for everybody. You have victims that have said it right away and still, said it right away, and it takes a process. It's a process to everything you do. It's a process on everything. Just being able to put your voice out there, let alone speak on what's going on with you. And it also takes a process for people to, inhale everything that you have, enhance everything that you're putting on the table. And I always say, when you're going through things like this, like I said, about the village, about the people, your reasons, go to them first and then go to a professional. Because once you go to your village, your reasons, your people that's there for reasons, you already have to know it's no questions asked. It's no ifs, ands, or buts. They're going to be there for you. They're going to support you through the long run. But once you get to someone that's certified, went to school and stuff for it, it's going to help you even more, because they're going to be a part of your reason as well. They're going to be the reason why you're able to navigate through this. They're going to teach you how to learn how to forgive, but they're also going to teach you, you can forgive, but you'll never forget. It's one of the hardest parts. For most of the techniques they do, it helps people within forgiving the people that put them through them traumas or whatever. And they be people that are able to be storytellers. They're able to be influencers onto people that may be dealing with the same thing. Activists, that's an amazing word for it. To be activists for people that are dealing with things that they dealt with, and being able to have their reasons / village to be there for them, as well as seeking professional help, has impacted them to be activists. So yes, I say this, take your time, but don't take too much time, because it might affect you physically and mentally. And like I said, the brain is a terrible thing to waste, and that's bracing 24/7, as well as physical. You don't want to, I say this, you can tell when someone is having a good day by the body language and the face expressions. Some people that are not having a good day, they have a good way of keeping that poker face on. However, when it comes to dealing with PTSD, stress, PTSD, anxiety, depression, all that, it shows from the way if you don't keep yourself up no more, if your hair not combed no more, if you wear makeup, if you keep a nice trim beard or whatever the case may be, people can tell. And then also your eating habits. You could be gaining a lot of weight, you could be losing a lot of weight. Also substance abuse. That's big within dealing with any type of source of mental health. A lot of people turns to substance abuse. A lot of people are able to break it, or a lot of them are not able to break it. I'll never forget when I was in community college majoring in human counseling, and I was reading a story on how this mother, she lived in an apartment, I think a 1-bedroom apartment with her daughter, and her husband had divorced her. That's why they had moved into a 1-bedroom apartment. And she just was not it no more. After, doing court cases and stuff, lost, didn't gain a lot of, basically she lost the case. And she started drinking. She was depressed. Started drinking. Then the drinking wasn't enough. She'd go to work sometimes even drunk. That wasn't enough for her, because it didn't let the pain go away. Until she started taking pills. And every time she'll feel upset, I remember it said, like, every time she felt upset, once she took these pills, all the worries were gone. And her daughter, it had in there too, like, her daughter was in the case, and she was like, her daughter couldn't even recognize her, because that's how bad her mental abuse took over her. But then the physical abuse but mentally, her physical appearance took over her, because she was abusing herself with putting a substance in her that affected her, not only mentally, but physically, to the point where her own daughter couldn't identify her. To the point where that her daughter caught her about to jump off the apartment complex building, because whatever pills she had got this time on a refill on wasn't the same pills. These pills had more energy, more milligrams and everything in it. It was like a real high dose. And she said the voice in her head told her to jump off the roof. If it wasn't for her daughter for finding her, she would have been dead. And this was a real case. I don't know where it was at, but it was real. And I'll never forget that case, because as a female, it just triggered me, because you never know. And then it's like, that's a mom. I'm not a parent, but I understand from watching my parents that at times it's overwhelming. And at times, dealing with things, you don't want to display those type of behaviors to your children. It's some that can hide it, and it's some that cannot hide it. So I'm telling y'all this is very sad. And this is like the reasons why I have these wellness days, because I want y'all it's to motivate y'all. It's to help y'all. It's to let y'all know that people out there care. And I'm one of them people that care. And I'm one of them people that stands with you within everything. Even though I'm not physically there with you, I'm there with you with spirit. If you know someone that's going through PTSD, or you're going through PTSD, you're going to get through this. Have your reasons and village, there with you through every step of the way. And once you feel like you're ready to get help, do it. But don't take so long. Because the longer you take, it's going to affect you mentally some more, and it's going to affect you physically. So going back to the story, that also helps you too. You don't want to be in that type of predicament as well. So where can individuals with PTSD find accessibility to treatments, options to support their wellness journey? Well, individuals with PTSD can find treatments options through various ways, including mental health clinics, community health centers, and a private practice of licensed therapists specialized in trauma, focused on therapies such as the CBT, that's cognitive behavioral therapy, and eye movement desensitile, that is reprogress, that's EMDR. Let me make sure I don't mess that up. And many hospitals and veteran centers also offer specialties for PTSD treatment, as well as online resources can also help as well, with support groups providing value information and peer support for individuals seeking help for PTSD. So when it comes to finding a place for you to get the help you deserve, I prefer, within this case, start off with group counseling. As I mentioned, a person that minored in human counseling, I learned group counseling and did a project within group counseling. I feel as though when you're around people that are dealing with the same thing as you, it helps you more, and it helps you understand that you can probably go through the same thing somebody's going through, and it may be 10 times harder or 10 times less than you, but you're still going through this. Y'all going through the same thing, and y'all learning together. And that can also bring y'all together. And that can also bring y'all together to create a foundation to help others, or to be activists for others as well. And it can also help you get closer to people that are going through things. And it's just, I feel like overall it's a good place to start, because you'll be around people that are dealing with the same thing and are here for the same reasons. And then you probably can start your individual counseling. But I always prefer the group counseling, especially if you're going through the same thing, because you never know who is going through the same thing that you're going through. You never know. And group counseling is one of the many things that are there for people that are going through a lot of things, and they want to be around others to get their insight on how did it make or break them, and how are they willing to find their new normal, as well as going to mental health clinics. That also helps too. The community health centers, if in your local community centers, or whatever the case be, go to a private, like I said, the private practice. Licensed people, go to the people that are certified in CBT or EMDR. And if you don't want to go in person, this is what the internet is for too. Having online group sessions or one-on-one sessions with a therapist or someone that is certified in CBT or CMDR can also help you as well. Or go to, support groups, or so you can value the information, or go to veteran hospitals and the centers and stuff also to help you as well. There's a lot of resources out here that you can take advantage of to help you find your new norm and help you with your new normal. And lastly, why is it crucial to address PTSD in the context of overall wellness, and what are the benefits of integrating mental health care into general wellness programs? Well, it is crucial to address PTSD in the context of overall wellness, because untreated PTSD can significantly impact not only mental health but also physical health, relationships, and qualities of life. Integrating mental health care into general wellness programs can seek help for mental health issues like PTSD, and providing individuals with comprehensive support to address all aspects of their well-being, leading to improved overall health outcomes and resentment. Basically, what I just said, what I just read, that's the overall. Or why it's important to address PTSD, and the benefits of what's the benefits of it? How can it help someone in the long run? And overall, just to summarize everything I said, PTSD awareness, it means to educate individuals about the signs, symptoms, and impacts of post-traumatic stress disorders, fostering understanding and support for those affected by trauma. Through public campaigning, education, intimacy, and activist effects, PTSD awareness seeks to reduce the stigma surrounding mental health issues, promoting early identifications and interventions, and increase access to effective treatment options. By raising awareness and offering resources, communities can create a more supportive environment for individuals living with PTSD, helping them to seek help and navigate their wellness journey. Okay? So, as always, before we end out, I have 2 questions that I want y'all to just ask yourself. What strategies or resources do you find most effective in raising awareness about PTSD within your community or social circle? And in your opinion, what additional support and involvement could be good to improve PTSD awareness and education on a board scale. So, what else do you think can come to the table, can help PTSD, as well as on an educational level, on a scale of how can it help someone mentally, physically, while educating them and also help them with the strategies as well when it comes to PTSD. All right. So with that being said, y'all, I hope y'all have learned a lot from today's Wellness 101, because like I said, June is also dedicated to PTSD awareness. So if anybody that is dealing with PTSD, I hope that you have learned a few things from me and also have got some insight onto helping you guys find your new norm and find your new normal, as well as motivate you guys to see somebody or speak your story to become an activist, or find ways on how to do it on your own, because sometimes it's good to do it on your own, but I also suggest to sit with someone that is certified within that area. Also, please keep the people that are here for a reason in your village close by when you're going through this, as well as don't be afraid to just speak your truth. And the people that know somebody that is going through this, please be there for them and help them as they navigate through this difficult time in their life. As always, I wish you guys nothing but the best. Just remember, bad times don't last forever. They're just here for this short period of time. Every day the sun might not shine, but that's why it's always tomorrow. It will rain, but there's always a rainbow at the end. Okay? I wish y'all guys nothing but the best. Peace and blessings to you all. Peace, blessings, and happiness to you all. Please remember to be amazing, stay amazing, feel amazing, and say amazing things to others. You never know how that can impact them. As always, please stay safe out here as well. It is summertime. Please stay hydrated and things of that nature. And as always, you guys will hear from me next Wednesday. But before I go, if you guys have any questions or concerns or want to talk, you are more than welcome to DM me on Instagram at vibing.withE. That's VIBINGWITH.E. Feel free. I'm here. That's what I'm here for. Education purposes, and also to be here for you as well. Until next Wellness 101, you guys will hear from me as well as for the next vibe of the day. Bye.